episode is brought to you by MTDCNC, the go-to platform covering the latest stories in the world of manufacturing.
Steve, it's a little while since I've seen you. How are you keeping?
I'm very well, Paul.
You look like you put on a bit of weight.
I've actually lost weight compared to you.
You had a good holiday, maybe?
Yeah, beginning of the year, went to Australia, but practically...
What was the purpose of that then? It's a long way to go.
Go and see my sister-in-law.
And what did you think of that country? I think it's absolutely fabulous.
It's brilliant. So laid back. Yeah. People are nice and friendly, and then you get back home straight through Heathrow, grumpy people. The biggest thing is the trolleys.
Trolleys?
Yeah.
As in what, at the airport?
Yeah, you get charged now at Heathrow. I didn't realise till I got back. It was like £5 to take a trolley.
Are you not man enough to carry your case without a trolley?
I can carry my own, but my wife struggles. So, but yeah, and got 3 kids, so they carried them all.
Yeah, well, good to see you here today, Steve. We're going to touch on a few of the products and some developments from ETG, and I know we've got 4 specific your principles that you're going to talk about. How's things for you guys at the moment? How's business? Like I say, it's a little while since I've been here.
Yeah, been some time now. So we're finding it pretty lumpy. You know, we came back into the beginning of the year, and we had some really good sales, inquiries, orders come through, machines going out the door, and then it just drops off the face of a cliff. You know, it's a very strange times for our customers and our customers.
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge, isn't it? It's about identifying what's happening with your customers in order to see where you are.
Yeah. So gone are the days I feel now where I'm talking to our customers with the sales guys, you know, talking about projects and so forth. We need to go that extra mile or a different avenue. We need to get hold of our customer.
Well, you've strengthened your team recently as well, haven't you? Tell us about some of these guys.
Yeah. So we've made some huge additions into the team because we've noticed the type of products that we sell is more at a business level. So it's not just talking about the machine itself, it's talking about the overall investment and the cost of ownership. So it's a different kind of sale than predominantly what we did many years ago. So we've expanded out into the south. We've taken on Paul Wallace, huge experience of obviously machine sales and an engineering background. We've got Liam up in the northwest, and obviously Wayne Beadle up in the northeast. So these characters and individuals, what they bring to ETG is a different type of sell. You know, it's not talking about what stroke has the machine got and how much the machine is. It's what that machine is going to give to that business. Because everyone's talking about cost per part or return on investment and so forth. Because people aren't just buying a machine for the sake of buying a machine. They're buying it for a project.
That's right. I mean, nobody just buys anything without a need or certainly a desire. You know, you've got to have a reason for it. And I mean, I suppose gone are the days. They used to be like when I used to sell machines 25 years ago, where you could walk in somewhere and show them a brochure and potentially walk out with an order. Which
100%. I can remember starting off in applications, and I used to go out with Jack Carter, typical old school Bridgeport sales guy. He had a notepad and pen in his top pocket, and if you hadn't got an order, Friday we'd just do his milk round the customers. We'd go round, and he'd just say, I need to order something. He'd just show him the stock list.
Yeah.
We'd work our way down it, and
you mentioned him. He was the first. When I got into machine tool sales, he was the guy that got me into it. Right. Coincidentally, and the first time I went out was with Jack.
Yeah.
After 6 weeks training at Leicester. And he took me round. We went to Hitchin and Letchworth, which was his stomping ground.
Yes.
And he'd have his 8 calls a day, and he'd take me into one of his customers, and he'd just tell jokes.
Yeah.
Like, a little bit like Ian, our cameraman. He'd just tell jokes, but his was better.
Jack's
than Ian's.
better.
Yeah. and that's how he did his kind of milk round. But it was how he, I suppose, gravitated towards the customers and got them. I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm never going to make it in sales because I can't tell jokes.
Yeah.
But everybody has their own way, don't they?
Yes.
But those days are very different.
Yes, different. Exactly. So when you're talking to customers now, you need to understand their business. You know, it's all of the barriers as to why they can't take that machine. It's not always price. It's project driven. LTA's in place. We're waiting for an LTA and so forth. So it's how we can support that customer they want the machine now, but they physically can't commit to it because of their customer. So that's where our turnkey experience comes in, because naturally we're supporting them and taking on that component or that part or that project with them, so it gives them a bit more confidence that they've got that backup and support.
And I suppose technology is what we're going to talk about now, but that has enhanced in machine tools in general, hasn't it? But at quite a pace in the modern day, certainly with AI now.
Yes, certainly AI.
Labour shortages and all of that. The four machine types we're going to be talking about now. I mean, we'll start with Durma. We're going to talk about Durma, Quaser, also Nakamura and Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
Durma, you guys were in Turkey recently. Did you take your coat?
Really? No. What a treat that was. So, yeah, lovely experience, splendid factory. Hospitality was brilliant. Machines are great, but by God was it hot. So walking around the factories. Seeing all the machines, and so let's say it's 42, 45 degrees in the factory, and we're going to see some 30 kilowatt laser machine produce a load of
compounds.
Yeah. So standing there.
Don't they have air
buckets.
Conditioning in these places?
No, they can't. No, definitely. Yeah, well, they got a big fan, and they keep the doors open. But they're used to it. It weren't a problem for them. They literally didn't sweat whatsoever. Yeah. And there's me walking around with buckets. Yeah.
Well, what is the Durma range? I mean, it's a pretty household name within the, metalworking, sheet metal sector, isn't it?
But yeah. So in terms of fabrication, it covers all principles. You've got press brake, laser, whether it be gas and so forth, roller bending, and so the portfolio is absolutely huge. There's not an offering within the fabrication world that Durma can't put a principle forward. The range from a £60,000 press brake all the way up to a multi-million-pound automated racking robot-fed system.
And how does that fit in with your business, though, at ETG, with the traditional kind of, the turning centres and the machining centres, 5-axis technology? It's a bit of a difference.
Yeah, huge. We always toyed with fabrication because a lot of our customers are diversifying and they're looking at new opportunities, and we've sort of like followed our customers, and it was always an inquiry or a demand from them asking us to support them, so we sort of like got forced into it by our customers, but the fabrication market is massive. Just in the UK alone, billions of pounds worth of machines are coming into the UK. So you'll get the MTA figures, and we get them for turning and milling and so forth. And it's really opened our eyes up to the fabrication element.
What's the sort of sectors? What are we? I mean, I can see some of the machines that you've got over here, some of the plate and stuff like that. I mean,
the range is unbelievable. So naturally it falls into aerospace, defence, construction, yellow goods and so forth. But then you're walking around, you're sitting on a chair now, and it's got tube on it. You know, so building and construction is a huge element of the ceilings and so forth.
Even like shops, the racking and stuff like that. You know, I know shopping online is obviously big these days, but you've still got these huge stores, haven't you, where you've got all this racking. So all of that needs some element of manufacturing, doesn't it?
Yeah. The fabrication area, it's because you've been brought up around engineering, prismatic and turning and so forth. You take it for granted. When you see something, it almost becomes blind to you. But with fabrication, because it's a new toy, then when you start to look around, the opportunities are huge for us.
And what's the highlight technology you picked up then that you want to tell us about?
Well, we touched on AI earlier. So we've obviously done our road trip through Turkey. We've gone through our Durma customer base, because obviously inheriting Durma exclusivity, there's over 750 machines throughout the UK.
Is there really?
Yeah, ranging through press brakes all the way up to lasers, 24-metre laser installed, which is the largest in the UK. So going through them, and you understand the issues that engineers have with machines and so forth, is that they've got this, it's called a laser mate, and basically it's a mate of the operator. So quite often than not, the operator will take a test cut on said machine, they'll take that sample piece like you would on a 5-axis machine, look at it, and there would be a series of parameters that they have to modify. Well, with AI technology, they put it into a cabin that sits next to the machine, and it scans the complete component or the sample part that they've just cut, and automatically feeds back the best parameters to cut that part going forward.
And what would be the considerations within that box then when you come to this type of part? Is it like surface finished?
Yeah, so it depends, because everything, whether you cut in aluminium or steel, it could be 5mm thick plate, or it could be 50mm thick real black raw material. So there's different parameters that come in. So the operator will thump in what material specification it is, but out from that it will look at that said part and thump in all the natural parameters.
Which alternatively, if you were doing it as a human, you might have to make various test cuts to try and get the perfect part, wouldn't you? So there's a massive time saving, I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose would that knock on to the efficiency of the machine as well? So like the gases it's using, the power and all this type of thing in order to get, to be the most efficient you can.
Yeah, 100%. And I see it the same as, I keep referring back to 5-axis and turning, that the owner buyers then, or so forth, they're only earning when the spindle's cutting. Yeah. They're only earning when that laser is cutting. Yeah. So between one job to another or setting that machine up, they're not earning money. So anything that we can do technology-wise to help them get the machine up and running quicker is going to be an added benefit.
And they move like lightning, these things.
Yeah, they're rapid.
I remember seeing one of the ones you had some time ago here. Yeah. Just look at it and in awe at how fast.
Well, when we went round Durma, it was so good to see the amount of automation that's been introduced, and it really opens your mind in terms of making ovens and so forth. All the cabins, range master and so forth. Yeah. Fully automated tube benders, press brakes, and everything, and it really isn't taking out the skill level. I've been around so many customers on our core products, Nakamura, and when we start introducing robots, that their engineers are getting so passionate that it's coming in to replace me, but it's not. I've seen it so many times that it's actually upskilling that individual, because he's not being replaced by the robot, is running the robot. It's doing him a favour, it's stopping him opening the door every minute.
Yeah, not only that, if they don't do that, their competitor down the road will, and there might be not a job at all. Yes. That's the reality, isn't it? Yeah. Interesting to see you, the ETG, in this area, and I'm sure you'll have great success at it, because there's an element to that, I suppose, with productivity, that you need the support, you need the engineering expertise to be able to help these guys get.
Well, we've got that in-house, so our technical specialist is born and bred a Durma engineer.
Oh, really?
He was in the factory, been in the factory for over 20 years, building the machines. He has now come to the UK, and he's representing our service and backup.
What was the trip like then to Turkey? How many days did you have there?
It was three days with Martin, so that was a challenge. Day one, just all day travelling out into the hotel. I think we did have a beer. Then the next day was full factory tour. But what you have to bear in mind is some of these machines are 24 metres long, like I said earlier, or 12 metres long. So you can picture the factory is huge.
Yeah, to get the output of the quantity of that type of machine.
We're going from one factory to another. But we're working on it towards the end of the year, really, is identifying and focusing on end users that we want to take on a factory tour over to Turkey and Durma, because you need to see it to believe it. It's all right buying it's all well and good me presenting and the sales team presenting,
but you need to see the operation.
There's nothing
and
like
size and scale of
same as Nakamura, but Japan's that little bit more further. Difficult to get hold of. But when you're talking Europe, it's easy.
But we talk about the Nakamura. I mean, you guys do exceptionally well with that product, and that's down to two things in my mind. One is the product. I mean, there's so much versatility with it. It's such a performer, and then of course, with automation now and with that customer wanting that level of turnkey, you bring that to it too. So I suppose those two things for me would be the advantages.
Really, ties in together. I mean, Nakamura is 65% of our turnover. Right. 70% of that is from repeat customers.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's naturally everybody knows it's a household name. We're not the cheapest.
I mean, how many companies only have one Nakamura, do you think? How would that compare to how many companies have multiple machines? Might be a good marketing campaign.
Yeah, well, it is. I can't think of. Yeah, I'd say certainly if someone is investing with a Nakamura, I'd say our turnaround is probably 12 to 18 months. They will have another.
Yeah. What's new from them?
So there's. We're looking at two different levels of technology. The first one is we class as the V-model. So every machine from Nakamura comes out with an addition or a revised, changing the Y-axis construction, increasing torque and so forth. But all models now are going through a V-model, which stands for velocity. So what Nakamura done is purely software driven. So it's the acceleration and deceleration of everything really, from axis down to the ramp up and speed up of the spindles, rigid tapping. We're getting into the boring technical elements.
Is that the I suppose you can get to a point where the mechanics can only do so much, can't they? Then you've got to rely on those, a lot of smaller wins in order to get that extra saving in terms of cycle time. That's really what we're saying.
When you look at it is capturing seconds, but if you're taking seconds out of one tool and it's startup and it's ramp down, if you're taking seconds out of a gantry of a part being loaded in and out of a spindle, if you're taking seconds out of the machine going up to index station and coming back, all those seconds add up. So if you've got a 5-minute cycle time and you've taken out 30 seconds, that's huge. Especially when the Nakamura's running 24/7. We're not just making 5 off. This machine's running hundreds off.
Well, I always remember selling a machine back in about 2003. We were targeted to hit a cycle time of 30 seconds. We got to 31, right? And I was like, well, it's only 1 second. It's not. And that was the difference between this making profit for the customer and not. I mean, that's the margins you're dealing with, isn't it? So I suppose if you can get an extra second or 2 seconds
and the reliability of it, it's all well and good of hitting that first part, saying I've now done it in 4.5 minutes. Well, carry on doing it for 4.5 minutes for the next 6 months, 12 months, 5 years.
So the V, does that apply to all of the models then that Nakamura
so they're phasing that in across the whole fixed head range, but naturally there is a phasing plan. Typically as a distributor we want it all as day one. So you've already seen it from the WY150s, WY100s, and it's phasing in through the NTY3 range, triple turrets. So they're slowly launching that software throughout all of the models.
So if I was to be, let's say I was currently a user of one of your machines, the WY or whatever it might be, and I've got that machine and I'm making a part in, you said it, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. If I introduce, let's say, a V model in next to it, what's my expected wins from from taking the program out of one of my existing machine, putting it into the new one? Is it like an immediate saving?
Yes. So we're working on some of the analysis. Naturally, it's all application specific. So I have to be careful what I say. I've said things before, and you're going to say 50%. It's not. On average, I'd say 30% is an average figure that you would save if you were going from the WT range of machines. We're now moving on to a velocity machine. You will see a 30% saving in cycle time.
That's quite substantial. That is very substantial.
Very substantial, and we can break that down into the number of operations, and it all comes from spindle transfer time, ramp up time, indexing time. So where we've got a tool in cut, goes up to its home position, indexes round, come back to component. We don't. The control now dictates where it goes. It won't go all the way back up to home. You don't program it to a point. You say, I want to go from tool 1 to tool 2. It moves away and indexes on the fly and comes back.
Right.
So you actually don't know whether it's going to go all the way up to home or not. It's just going to get to a fixed point. the machine calculates where it needs to go to come back. So you've always got that tooling cut.
Yeah. I mean, when you take that, though, are you then going to say to me, yeah, well, it's going to be a 30% saving, but it's going to cost you 40% more?
Naturally, there is an investment to be had. Yeah. You know, we put all these features and benefits onto the machine. Unless you catch us on the right day, it's not going to come at the same price. So there is a price point to pay.
Trade off the value in the.
But yeah,
savings.
exactly. The return on investment and that cost per part is what we focus on. Yeah. So we will 100% help our customer reduce their cost per part.
Yeah. Anything else on the Nakamura side? I mean, that's quite big in itself. But
yeah. So there's a new machine called the Flex, subtly renowned for its flexibility is what we're promoting that machine on. So that's focused on the lower end bar size, 38, 42 mil. So you could say we're targeting the sliding head market. So it's still a fixed head machine. It had all those characteristics of a velocity machine, so it's a very fast, lightweight machine. But its target market is sliding head with flexibility.
That's interesting because sliding head machines are becoming more capable themselves. They're becoming more flexible. So they're moving, or they're trying to move towards the sort of fixed head environment, aren't they? And fixed head, your fixed head is trying to move towards, so it's kind of meeting in the middle, perhaps.
Yes.
There's a lot of opportunity in that area because I see it all the time. Companies not necessarily manufacturing the quantity of parts or volumes of parts that they used to, parts becoming a little bit more complex, machines becoming more capable. All these things mean that's a new possible new market for you, isn't it?
100%. We've done some product launches, sent it out, dipped a toe in the water with it, and the feedback's been really, really good. You know, we're not going to compete with a slider on cycle time. That's not our route to market. Our route to market is flexibility in that particular machine.
Changeovers,
and so forth. We talked about earlier keeping that spindle always running. Sliders have a place in the market where application specific, volume specific. We're just giving customers that alternative to more flexibility.
And then, Steve, moving on to the next range of machines is the Quaser. Now, this is quite interesting because there's two developments which we're going to talk about, and I think they're two really good developments actually. Let's talk firstly about the machine where you've got this kind of dual option with a 5-axis and the
so it's called the Flex again, not wanting to confuse the market. So we classed it as the MF Flex. So the MF is already a current range from Quaser multi-face machining, which we know very, very well. So Quaser have been working on a model looking at gaps in the market that we're now launching the Flex machine. So this is a 5-axis with a 3-axis table built into one. So if you can picture a 600 size full 5-axis table, and then to the left hand side, all in one machine, we've got a 700 mil size bed. So you've got that flexibility of 5-axis with a 3-axis machine built into it as all as one cell.
You're looking at a target of machining 5 faces on one side, and then perhaps the 6th face being machined on the.
So you're probably looking at op 10 and op 20. So we're already now in the second development of looking at how we can move from op 10 onto the 5-axis side, because you've always got a pre-op for a billet or so forth, haven't you, whether that's skimming, facing off or what have you, and then it goes presented to the 5-axis table.
Given the look of that machine in the two tables, could you have a part that runs from the 5-axis table across to the flat table? Obviously the 5-axis table is locked and in position, but would mean that potentially you could machine a 3 meter component or something like that.
There's two variants in that configuration of machine. So if you imagine the 5-axis table when it's flat, A0 then, so to speak, that sits flush with the 3-axis table, so it's a 1.6 meter bed machine. You've also then got the option that you can have the 5-axis table risen. So when that's over at 90, you can use that as a 4th axis machine. So any long parts that we would put a trunnion steady on the fixed bed, and now we've got a 5-axis with a 4th axis for doing cylinder work.
What's the control systems on these machines? That's
so there's 3 variants. So we've got Siemens, Fanuc, and Heidenhain. So there is an option that we're looking at as Mitsubishi as well, but for ourselves, because Quaser, with the branding that we push out, with it being Quaser Bridgeport, our flagship is the Heidenhain control.
I think that's going to be a really interesting machine for you. I think it's going to be it's an interesting concept, which I think really does suit subcontract market. Total flexibility
through both avenues, from Quaser with prismatic, Nakamura turning. Obviously 2 completely independent companies, everyone is taking the same approach of flexibility. It's all about giving the customer that openness.
It must be a global requirement, which it is. We know that. And the second machine from Quaser, because again,
that's your 3 metre one that you touched on earlier.
This is the 3 metre one, so this is, well, you explain.
Yeah, so we've got a 3 metre in X-axis.
Is that your dinner ready with a microwave?
No, I didn't know that. You needed to take a tablet. Then we've got the B-axis head. And then inbuilt into it is a rotary table. So again, full 5-axis machine, 3 metres in X, the 710 I'm going to say in Y, with a built-in rotary table, or we can have 2 rotary built-in tables with a partition down the middle.
Okay. So you've got the opportunity to do the pendulum machine in there. You've got the opportunity to do large parts, wing spars, or whatever it might be. That will open up more markets for you too.
Certainly. We all know when we talk about that configuration of machine, who's the market leader in that particular environment. So to launch a model like that and have Quaser Bridgeport branding sit behind it, I think you're going to see a lot more.
Can we expect to see these machines here? Are you going to bring them in? And when's this kind of
the 5-axis, 3-axis variant is being launched here in January, alongside Heidenhain as well. So Heidenhain are going to use our facility, and they're launching their control system. So it's the new TNC 6 is being launched. So they're having their own open house at our facility. We shall follow that on the back with your support, launching the Flex machine. The Velos 3000, which is the ATC with a dual rotary table, that's being launched in October. So we're going over. That's actually being built in Europe. For Quaser, so we're hoping to see that mid-February.
Okay. Now we've talked about the fabrication, sheet metal side, turning, milling. Then of course there's EDM.
Yes, yeah.
Which is the last subject we're going to talk about. I mean, you do other machines as well.
We had a road trip to there, and it was a lot cooler.
Okay, so you went to Mitsubishi. Tell us about what you learnt there.
Right. So that was an eye opener, because again we're getting. Mitsubishi, along with all our brands, is a very much a premium brand, and naturally, as managing a sales team, the argument always comes back with, we're more expensive and so forth. There's more companies coming about now with that commodity entry-level machine, so it is giving us a challenge. It just makes our justification that little bit harder. Well, you're more expensive, but when you look over the life of the machine, what we're training people to think about now, going back to the sales guys, it's not a sales job, it's a consultancy sale, is that the cost of ownership of that machine. Yes, we might be more expensive, but what's the most consumable part on an EDM machine is the wire. So we did an exercise of a Mitsubishi machine running alongside that of a commodity machine. Okay, the commodity machine would use 1/3 more wire. So when you look at that over a lifespan of just 3 months, or whether you look at that of a lifespan of 5 years, because 9 times out of the 10 people are taking out finance now out on the machine rather than using the cash. So if they're running that machine over five years, 100% guarantee the cheaper machine, the cost of owning that machine is going to be more expensive than the Mitsubishi. But we put a proposal forward on the Mitsubishi and they'll go, well, you're £1 more, you're £2 more. Yeah. Well, buy the cheaper machine, then come back to me in 5 years and say, owning that machine.
What's it do? How is it using less wire? What's the technology involved that does that?
Well, the technology behind it is the power consumption of the machine and the smart the smart control. It's the variations that the machine has got inside it. We're actually going to be launching this. So similar to when we launched, you can remember the transformers that we had.
Yeah.
We're actually creating a calculator for our customers to complete now.
Okay.
So we're going to say, right, this Mitsubishi MV1200 is £100,000. You're going to be working 800 hours a year, whatever, you know. We're going to give them a calculator and say the Mitsubishi every year is going to cost you X amount. Now thump in the details of running another machine.
Yeah.
And then come back to me and tell me the Mitsubishi isn't a cheaper machine, if that's what you're buying it on.
So you should be selling lots of them going forward then? Or
yes.
Your sales guys
thanks
should.
for that, yeah.
And then we touched on things like Chiron as well, but I mean, I know Lindsay was here doing a review, which I saw a machine, caught my eye, was these Micro 5. Yeah, I mean, it's a tiny machine.
Yeah, it's
for like dental and medical.
Yes,
yeah.
Working envelope, if you picture a 50mm cube machine, that's the optimum for that machine. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so for us to deliver a machine, we take an average of where we're going to deliver it throughout the company. That one, I can put it in I4's transit van, deliver it. Me and you could do it, and then you just literally three pin plug into the wall. The machine's running.
What about its stability? You don't have to have it any bolted to the floor or anything.
No.
Right.
No, because of you have to remember it's a lightweight machine, so 60,000 RPM machine is something stupid, 4.5G acceleration.
Yeah.
It has a little pallet changer built onto the side with it. Yeah. So we've been looking at all sorts, watch manufacturers,
it's
small gears, very small medical parts,
sort of luxury goods,
jewellery.
Yeah. So is that why you keep walking around with these
flashy
nice
watches,
bracelets? And
I'll get hand-me-downs.
You've got a big necklace under there.
I'll get hand-me-downs from you.
I remember going to the Chiron factory or Chiron open house. Their place is like built on multi-story.
Yes.
It's almost like a tower block, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas everything, I know they do have a big expanse where the machines are being made, but was it their showroom that was like on multiple layers, like a multi-story car park?
Yeah, so you have the applications hall, the build hall, test centres, spindle hall. So I'm surprised you can remember it.
Yeah, no, I remember, because I also remember going to that local steakhouse round. There's a steakhouse
you go
where
in the
they
dungeon.
serve the beer in the like mugs,
pop
don't they?
mugs, don't you?
Yeah, and then you have those it must be one of the best steaks you can ever have. And I'm just trying to remember your colleague's name with the forgive me, but with the white hair that it begins with an H.
Holger. He's retired now.
Is he really?
Yeah, retired last month.
So he's driven off in the sunset with his roof down in his
Porsche.
Convertible Porsche. Oh, right, okay. I did see him actually at AMB last year. So when did he retire, did you say?
Only a month ago.
Right, okay. Well, good luck to you, Holger, if you're watching. Steve, brilliant to catch up with you. It's been a long time since I've been here. Great to see some of these developments, and I'm sure all will benefit the UK manufacturing sector, and look forward to coming back here perhaps in January when you have this event and looking at some of this technology as it happens.
Yeah. Cheers, Paul. Thanks for visiting.
Thank you for listening. If you want to find out more about what's happening in the world of manufacturing and engineering, visit mtdcnc.com.